Hey there, Chad here with a manned mission to Minmus already in progress. This is part 2 of my mission to Minmus, and we will pick up in progress just after the planning of the trans-Minmus injection and just before its execution. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video. I will have to check on that. Maybe I'll do a sidebar on it to remember how multiple nodes get worked. What I'm going to do for now is hit this one. Yeah, I'm going to want to get rid of that one. I don't think it'll affect what I'm trying to do immediately. That's an alarm clock. Don't want the alarm clock. I'm trying to get to the point where it gives me the option to delete it, but that's fine. We'll leave that one alone. We'll come back over here. This is the maneuver node I'm worried about right now. I was trying to get okay, anyway. This will work for now. So we'll be at that node in 24 minutes. Currently says it's a minute 32 burn. Now the thing about that is, right now I've got the big engine, right? But it has almost no fuel left. So it's got 206 meters per second. So this is going to drop to 700 meters per second, roughly. Then we will drop it. And this little engine is going to take over, and that's going to change the overall performance. So what I'm going to do is, the burn time is a minute 32. I'm going to start the burn at a minute. Might even kind of thinking maybe that may not be enough, but we'll start the burn at a minute and see what happens. So I'm going to fast forward to all right. There we go. Let's warp to there. I want to warp a little further over. Give myself a little time. Okay, we're 230 out from that node. I'm going to go ahead and get lined up as best I can. We should be using electric power right now. Yeah, you can see it burning up there. Oh, too much. That's what happens when you take your eye off the ball there. I'm going to ask Jeb to hold steady wherever I drop it. I think it's Jeb that's in here. Yeah, it was Jeb. It was Jeb. Jeb is generally your default pilot. He's the one that'll jump in there first. It is not a bad idea to level up your different pilots so that you can use this stuff. After going to Minmus, Jeb should level up again, and I'll have a few more node types that I can use. The best one to get is where they will hold the maneuver node for you. And things get really, really simple. You click on it, they hold the maneuver node, and you just fire the engine. That's all you have to worry about. You don't have to dial it in. Jeb or Valentina or whomever the pilot is takes care of that part for you. So we're down to about 23 seconds before I'm going to start this burn. Now when I make these videos, I do tend to lower the sound of the game so that you can hear me. But I put the music back on. I really kind of missed the music. I hadn't been doing music with the videos. So here we go. There's the burn started. Not sure why I'm not hearing it here. Oh, probably because it ran out of fuel. Fire that second engine. You'll notice that the burn time didn't change dramatically. We're going to actually be pretty close there. I'm pretty happy with that. That was not well, it was intentional, but it wasn't planned out that way. Couldn't have asked for a better guess, right? And this stage has still 1,200 meters per second of fuel in it. That's the fuel we're using for everything. That's going to get us onto the surface of Minmus, off of the surface of Minmus, and back to the planet. Well, the good news is the burn time is still 1:42 in this stage. I'm sorry, you know what? That is just this stage. So once we drop those nodes, those pods off the side, then we'll pick up some more time there. Okay, we're almost done here. Starting to bottom out. It has drifted quite a bit. I wasn't watching that too closely. I should have. And we're going to give it to it right there. I'll take that. Need to see what it actually looks like, but we'll take it for now. So I'm going to jump out here. Oh, I might be... That looks really short. Yeah, we're really short there. So I fired the engine just for a moment there to see what we get, and it put us here. And let's see. Oh, that's good. So we're in a position where accelerating right now moves me closer. The thing about that is the further away you are from what you're burning to move towards, the bigger it's think of it as a lever or a fulcrum. I'm farther away, so a little bit of power makes a huge difference. If I was right here right now, well, certainly closer, but if I was in this vicinity, it'd take a whole lot of power to make this change of, you know, several 100,000 meters of distance from the planet. But because I'm so far away, it is just a little bit of drippy drop, and that's it. So anything under, I'm going to say under 30 is going to be good. And okay, I'm not sure I want to try to, well, you know what? Yeah, let's leave it right here. We're going to leave it right there. Okay. So 800 meters per second of fuel left. My chart indicates that we need about 180 meters per second to actually do the landing, believe it or not. It takes almost no fuel, and it takes about the same amount to get off the surface. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to kill this node. This is that node that I had set up. It's no longer applicable. We will set it up actually here when we get there. Now, one other thing that isn't the worst idea, I need to get off of that to show this. I could, so mentioning the fulcrum thing, so applying fuel out here to make a change on how close I'm going to be to the planet, or to Minmus, to the satellite. Small change, huge difference. It isn't unusual to put a node maybe here where that lever is a lot smaller, and then you can really dial in with a lot more precision what that change is going to look like. If I wanted to get it down to 12,000, so I could spend 2 or 3, you know, meters per second of delta V here to get it down from, we were at what, I think 29,000. Yeah, 29,000. I could set something up here and maybe dial that down to 12,000 with just a couple of drops of fuel. Out here, it's a little too specific. Now, if I had maneuver thrusters, I would just use the maneuver thrusters right now and dial this to exactly where I want it, because it would take almost no monopropellant to do that. Extremely small amounts. Since that's not the case right now, though, we're going to just go ahead and leave it alone. I'm going to let the physics of it take over. We will close this guy off. A little too much. Got a little rambunctious there. All right. So a parry of 15, that'll look good. I think what I want to do is, oh boy, I'm missing all the good landing spots. All right. So we're 10 days away. We'll want to see what that looks like in a bit. So the body is going to be rotating counterclockwise. We're probably going to end up landing somewhere over here is my guess. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward time for a bit. Let's see where that lands. And then I'll dial that in a little more specifically once I have a better picture of where it's going to go. All right, let's get off of that. Maybe see what happens when we're past the moon's orbit. Oh, so I'm thinking here, the temperature and atmospheric scans probably aren't the worst because I can reset those. I can't reset the mystery goo, and I can't reset the material studies, but I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these. We're going to end up with a ton of science, as I've said a couple of times. Let's go ahead and do a crew report too. Do that. Come look at our ship. Right-click on the experiment storage unit and say collect all. And what you'll see is it now says that there are 3 stored data in there. When we come back to that a little later, it'll increase every time we do it. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to the mystery goo for while we're in the orbit of Minmus. Okay, so accelerating. We're at 10, we're at 50, now 100, now 1,000. Go to 10,000, and I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so we're not quite halfway. Let's go a little further. Up to 1,000. Let's call that halfway. From a distance perspective. From a time perspective, we're not near halfway. We're only at 8. We still have 8 days to get there. So let's stop it there, and let's take another look at what this looks like. Okay, I'm struggling with getting that on there. What's going on? There we go. Okay, so there was that node. Yeah. So I'm either going to want to land here, probably be in the sun at by the time we get around there. If we were much closer, I'd probably target this. I don't think in 8 days we're going to swing all the way around to the really big spot there. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's see what it looks like when we're 4 days out. So again, I'm measuring how far out we are from the next node based on, well, I guess you could look here too. We're 8 days out from the node. 8 days, 3 hours. So let's get that down to, say, 4 days. Cut the time in half. That's 50, 100, 1,000. Man, those are going crazy, aren't they? Could do an EVA for 12 more points. Yeah, why not? What else is Jeb doing, right? Go ahead and grab that EVA, 12 points. He could radio this one back. We've got plenty of power, and we have solar panels. Let's transmit this one. He's not in the vessel. He can't that's right. That's the one thing that's weird about that. He can't actually do that because he is not an antenna, so he can't do it. But he can jump back in, and we can store it. So we'll say collect all, and this should go up to 4. Yeah, so it has his EVA report now as well. Okay, coming back out to here, we're still at 8 days. Let's get much closer. 1,000 more, 7 days. Warp will not be stopped. I must have bumped it because it's not supposed to be stopping on its own. So what you can see is our capsule, if it could just hover right where it's at, is really close to where the path of Minmus would go. But we're going to actually go a little past Minmus's path and then backdoor in. Kind of like I mentioned before, the other path was going to do basically the same thing. I'm not sure we'd be able to see Minmus yet from the ship. We'll take a peek after this. Let's see if we can get a look at. There it is. Okay. I think what's happening is I'm clicking on the dot, and the dot isn't actually where the planet is at that point. not really finding it because of that. So we are going to probably end up targeting this area right here. So I was thinking I might need to make another maneuver to change the angle that we're coming in at, but I think I'm going to skip it. This should be in sunlight for quite a while, and I think we'll be able to hit that. And if not, there's another one over here that would be just coming into view. And at the very worst, what we do is we just orbit for a while until we find a spot in the sun where we can land. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's go to the ship and see if we can see Minmus. So there's the sun. If we look at this from here, not from Minmus, but from our ship, if we look back at where the sun is, there it is. Minmus should be almost 180 degrees off the sun behind us. Can I get further? I can. So if we put the sun straight above and then we zoom way in, it's almost exactly opposite of us. So let's see if we can make that work. So Minmus should be somewhere over there. I do not see it. Okay. I'm going to try to do it this way. So that's roughly the direction the ship was. So there we go. What we can do is zoom time a little bit, and we should start to see something moving out there. Minmus is very, very small, is what it comes down to. We're still 3 days out. Incidentally, the days on the planet are only 6 hours long. Something to note. It's a very, very, very small planet. I'm still not seeing anything that looks sparkly or anything like that. Oh, there it is. How did I miss that? Is that it? That's it. Wow, we're going to be at our node in 17 seconds. I totally messed that up. That's bad on me. Okay, so now I am going to do some of these real quick. Boy, that was close to disastrous from a video creation perspective. I would have had to start all over. Need to be a little more mindful of that next time. Grab a crew report. Jeb's going to jump out, kick the wheels. He's going to jump back in. He's going to collect all the data. So that was 5 more experiments he just ran. That's good. Okay, so let's take a look from here. Okay. We are past our maneuver. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry. We're coming back to it. There it is. I didn't think it would have let me send it past it. That would have been really not nice. Okay, so what's going to be in the sun? Yeah, we're going to catch that, probably that spot over there. Let me... There we go. Yeah, we still have, well, there is plenty of smooth space to land on. So these spots here that are big and noticeable, I guess they're purple. The whole Minmus is supposed to be purple. These are really flat, and those are good places to land. When you land on the side of a crater, you can have some difficulty because your ship is not pointing straight up, and it can fall over, and balance becomes an issue, and all that. That's why I'm really wanting to hit this for our first landing. A good wide open spot, plenty of places to try to set down. I'm excited about that. Let's see if we can make that happen. All right. We're getting very close here. I'm going to go ahead and just let it go, though, with regards to that. We'll just, if I have to wait an extra orbit or two to get it nice and in the sun, we'll do that. So I'm going to warp to 1 minute out. So warp to next maneuver. It's only warping it 100 times. And let's go ahead and take that atmospheric pressure scan. Now we have 3 of those experiments, so I don't have to go and reset it right away. I've got 3 of those on the cargo bay. All right, we are a little over a minute out. The burn to put us in orbit will be roughly 17 seconds, so we're going to go at about 8.5 seconds. Just turn that on. And it's going to be a retro burn, which makes sense because basically when I set up the maneuver, all I did was pull retro. So that's an easy one to have him track. He'll track the retro position. We can fire that until this runs down to 0, and it should be very, very close to what I'm anticipating. Okay, now I've already used one material study. I don't know that there's a reason not to go ahead and use this one, so I'm going to do it. Oh, except we're at close to time. Let's go ahead and try to grab a couple of these. And then we will, temperature, hold off on crew report. I can do that one on the way up. We're past, so I'm going to go ahead and fire. Now, having missed that fire time isn't going to be terribly critical. We're just really trying to circularize the orbit. It'll just change the mins and maxes a little bit. Not enough to be devastating. Precision is a good thing, but it's we're really talking about ballparks, right? Okay. So 16,000 meters and 29,000 meters. So this is fairly eccentric orbit, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. What this will do is give this time to move as we come around. I'm going to go ahead and speed up time. And I'm going to end this video here, and we will pick up in part 3, which will be episode 13C of the trip to Minmus. And that will be the final episode of the Minmus mission. It will be a little bit longer, but worth watching. Until then, thank you for watching, and fair travels.